Thank you for joining me for Google Forms to save time. I love Google Forms. I can think of so many ways that we can use forms, so I'm thrilled to present this video lesson to you. Hi everybody, I am Meg Ormiston. I'm a former classroom teacher. Now I help teachers in schools work with technology, and I'm all about saving time, and that's what we're going to be talking about. If you have been watching some of the modules, this set of Google modules is a little different from the other ones because these are more like tutorials. Teachers asked us to make a presentation like you're sitting right next to me and learning. And that's what we aim to do with this series on Google Drive. And so, if there's any way that you can watch on one computer and work on another computer as we go, starting and stopping me, I really think that's a great way for you to learn. Just like our students, they learn by doing. So I want to model the same thing with you. So, and again, if you can get a friend to work with you, even better. So enjoy. Today we are talking about Google Drive, and we're specifically going to talk about forms. So I'm assuming that you know how to get to your Drive because this is the end of the series. And that when you do, you come in to New, and you can see it stops at More. Don't worry about it. Click on it. Another menu will pop up, and Forms is on that menu. All right, it opens up, and you got a lot going on here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of give you an anatomy. Just like if I was sitting next to you and pointing at your screen, I'm going to point using my my little bubbles like that. And so we're going to go through. We're going to go through the couple of toolbars. Then I'm going to actually take you into the editing, and I'm going to clarify the. I've been teaching Google Forms for years and years and years, and I know where we're going to get stuck, so I'm going to help you through that. First of all, title your form. Be specific. Make it long, so if you ever have to search for it, you can find it. You can file it right there in a folder. Never knew till I got ready for this. Everything is saved automatically, which is a big switch for everybody's brain. But as you're working anytime in the Google Drive environment, it's automatically being saved. Now, if you look at these menus underneath here, these are specific to Google Forms. First, create and edit questions. You have to have a form to edit the questions. You can change your themes, exciting news there, we'll get to. You can view the responses from whoever took your form or your survey. And you can also take a look at your live form, what it looks like to the people that are taking the form. And there it is. All right, file menu. You can add collaborators. Sorry about that. Collaborators, meaning let's say as a grade level, we want to make a form for whatever. We can all work together on the form. One person doesn't have to do all the work. So that's the cool part. You can add collaborators. You can send the form, and I'm going to teach you how to do that. To send the form, you can get the link. You can embed the code on your website. You can also share it through email and social media. So you'll learn how to do that. Make a copy. This is really key when we're working with forms. Let's say that one person does make the form. You want to for sure make a copy of it to make sure that it's a new document. So, meaning you don't want the results from the other teacher's class to be in your form. So you want a kind of a fresh start. So think of it like you're making your own master copy. And what I do is in my naming convention, I actually say master of whatever, whatever, whatever. So that way I know that that is the one that I need to be using. This embedded code, don't be scared by the concept of embedding. If you have a website, you can get the code and then you just put this form, this embed code on your website, and it looks like it's on the website, but it's not, which is really cool. All right, I'm using one of my schools that I love, my Lamont School District. I'm logged in with their school settings, so it's closer to what yours looks like. Yours might have a few additional options. I'm showing you the school view. You can create a form on your personal view, but I want you to be thinking about school and logged in your school. So that's where you might have some different things. So use this option if you want to be used only inside the district. Really think through this because let's say it's a parent form. If you check that, the parents aren't going to be able to see it. You're going to be so excited, you're so proud of yourself, you send the form out and you're going to get it's going to, on their end, it's going to say you have to request permission. Ugh, you don't want to do that. My always hint for this is set up your form the way you think it's going to share. Send it to a friend outside of your school district just so you can make sure your settings are right before you blast it out to your 150 parents. Okay, so practice before you send it out. Next, automatically collect student names. This is cool because if you're outside of your domain, they call it, you have to actually ask on every form, what is your first name? What is your last name? In this case, it automatically can collect that, which is nice. Love the shuffle question order. And that way, no cheating will happen. And you can allow only one response per student. Well, we know because we collected their names that now they can only do it once. Also, there's a progress bar that you can see at the bottom of the page. I don't use that often. All right, here we are. We want to create our form. First thing, title your form. Make it something that you're going to remember and you won't forget, like I always do. Form description or directions or details, maybe please return this by next Tuesday. That would go there. If you choose not to put anything in your description, that will not show up. Okay, first question title. I don't know why they wouldn't say question number 1. I don't get it. But type your question there. That's what you do. If you need hints or tips, like please remember boys and girls to use capital letters, that would go there. Again, if you don't need that help text, it won't show up. You can edit, duplicate, or delete questions. Now, there's many ways that you can do that. I've never done it from the menu over to the, well, I guess I have, from the menu over to the right. But a lot of times as I'm going, I will have to, I already said that, or I have to ask it in a different way. So you can edit and everything right within, imagine that like the bar we're looking at is one question. All right, so there's a lot of purple going on here, don't worry. This is interesting. This is a new one, and I haven't used this feature much, but I did a lot of research for this. Go to a different question based on this answer. So basically, if the student gets it wrong, they can be put to a different direction, that maybe there's a reteaching or something like that. I need to play with that a little bit more and to really get my arms around that. Question type. The next slide, we're going to go into much more depth about question types. And then this, let's say to choose multiple choice. This is where you would go ahead and put your answer in. Required question. This is key. So let's say that you do want to collect names. Make it a required question so you don't get a form back with all this information and you don't know who it's from. So that required question is key. You can go ahead and mark that. Now, think of that bar with all that purple, sorry, that looks visually hard. That is just one question. When you're ready to add another one, skip down to that add an item to do your next question. We don't click on the blue done until the form is done. If you do, no big deal, we can come back in. But I think they kind of put that backwards. I don't know, that done to me should be in a different place, but I don't run the world. All right, let's talk about types of questions. There's all different types, so let's just look at those. And text, very simple, it's just a simple text box. Paragraph text is just longer. So, if let's say you wanted students to give you a paragraph, you would pick paragraph text. Multiple choice, you can go, I don't know if there's a limit to how many questions that you can have. I don't know that. And check boxes, choose from a list. This is great. If you want, like, let's say, what school are you from? Instead of everybody typing it and misspelling it, you could just list the school once and everybody could just choose from that list. Works great with younger kids, like put their names in once and then have them choose. If they already populated, you don't have to worry about that, but just the choose from list is great. The scale, I'm going to come back to that because that is on a scale of 1 to 10. How much do you like reading or something like that? And I'm going to show you why I love the scale feature. Now, grid, I have not played with yet. So that one is on my professional development list to pick. Date, students can pick a date. So I don't know if that would be, I expect to finish my project on this date. And also the time. Now this is a little bit more of the organization piece. You can put in section headers and page breaks. That really helps to visually break up if the form is maybe a little lengthy. So if you need contact information, you might collect that at the beginning, then insert a section header. So it just helps you visually manage a little bit. The other thing is now, this is a great upgrade, you can now insert images and videos right into your questions. Oh, that's great. No, the videos do not have to come from YouTube. They can also come from your Google Drive, I believe. Yes, I'm sure of it now. And so when we are done, and you've done all your questions and you are done, click on done, and then this is the confirmation page that you are going to get. So you can personalize this. Thank you for responding to the parent interest inventory or the student interest, whatever it is. You can do that, and then you can also ask for some other features here. Show the form results. Be careful about that because that's going to show like the whole class, if you'd imagine. So I don't use that very often. In edit and resubmit, this is where you decide, do you want students to have the ability to edit, resubmit? It's all up to you. You're the one creating the form, so you can decide. Now, let's make our form. Oh, send the link to the form. And if you need more help, detailed help with sharing, you want to go back to the Google Documents segment because that goes into much more about sharing. I'm going to hit sharing in a little bit after we talk about themes. Love the themes. For years, Google only had a handful of themes. I was so sick of looking at blue fish, I couldn't even tell you. But now there's all beautiful new themes, and the cool part, you can also customize the themes. So let's say that you like the font, you liked everything, you just want to change the picture across the top. You can do that. And one of the cool parts is Google gives you tons of choices. You can pick theirs or you can pick their own. But you have to follow certain, like the header image has to be so big and so. And so here's what the header looks like. And so there has to be a certain size format that it fits in there. And then they explain all of that to you. But of course, I don't read anything. I just jump through and think I could throw any picture up there. And as you can see, that beautiful picture I put in is taking up like the whole page. So I needed to go learn more. So what I wanted to model for you, when I hit kind of something like that and I don't even want to spend time guessing what that file format, I'm just going to go quick out to YouTube. And this is also on your handout. This team, I love them. They create videos of everything Google. And love this one. This is exactly what I needed. I watched literally 30 seconds of it and I'm like, oh, got it. All I needed was the dimensions. So I'm telling you, jump over YouTube, learn. Less than a minute, I was back and learning some other things. But I wanted to point out to you as a resource that this is one that I subscribe to. And what that means is every time a video is uploaded, I get a little message when I go to YouTube that, hey, Guru has a new one uploaded. They also have a daily newsletter. I'm not going to lie and say that I read it every day, but I do read it a lot. Love it. Great newsletter. So it's a great team, and there's so many videos. I mean, we're having fun. We're doing this together. But if you hit something and you need a little bit of help, this is where you need to go. All right. This is the most important slide of the entire presentation because this is the most confusing part about Google Form. So in the circle, we have the form. Yay, awesome. And it looks pretty and it's great. But there's really 3 parts of the form behind it. The live form, I call that the pretty form. That means it has the theme. It just in your mind, think the live form or the pretty form is what you're going to give to parents, students, or colleagues. That's the live form. All right, behind the scenes is view responses. So let's say you're handing out a quick survey, a pet survey. You're handing out your quick pet survey, you hand it out, and you have nice little pets around the outside. Fine, that's the live pretty form. That's the form that you give to everybody. Behind the scenes, you view the responses of everything coming in. Now, you've already watched me in the edit mode. The edit mode is where you add the questions. So all of these pieces go into the form. The problem is when you start to get lost, as everybody gets lost in forms, moving back and forth between the form and the responses that end up in a spreadsheet that Google makes for you. You don't have to make it, but that's where people get confused, is that flipping back and forth. So now I'm in my form menu, and you can see across the bar that we can switch between the views. And so now that's over in forms. But the responses are automatically made in Google Sheets that we learned in the last module. And to navigate from the sheets or the spreadsheet back to the form, you have to go to the form, and then you can move back and forth between everything. Now see where it says under form, it says show summary of responses. We'll show that in a minute. So here is an example of a form. Beautiful header, everything looks great, but you want to tweak it, you want to make a change. In the upper right hand corner, if you're on the live or the pretty, that's what I call it, the pretty form, then you go to the right and you edit that form. Okay, so that's it. Just a note, if you notice right underneath submit, never submit your passwords through Google Forms. That's just a little reminder to you always to remember that. All right, now summary of responses. This is what the spreadsheet looks like behind the scenes. And what you're seeing is a spreadsheet I made. Give me your name and how comfortable are you with Twitter, Facebook, Edmodo, Schooltown, all the way down the line. And I used the scale on a scale of 1 to 10, or 1 to 5 in this case, I think. Scale of 1 to 5, how comfortable are you? And so I really, really like the scale so I can get a snapshot of everything. And this is another way. This is not scale. This is just the 3-word. There it is. This is the behind the scenes of this one. So give me 3 words of what I want to see going on in your classrooms. And that's what that is. If you notice on the left, the timestamp is awesome. I know exactly when the response came in. This is when you use a scale question. Automatically, this is called the summary of responses. It's automatically done for you. Done right there. And you can watch it. It's really cool because you can watch us in real time. So let's say we're all voting for the name of our new goldfish. We could go ahead and watch it in real time as it comes in, which is a lot of fun. There's a lot of templates out in the template gallery, which is great. But just remember that if you go out to the gallery and get a form, make a copy of it. You want to make sure that your data stays separate from anybody else that might have made that template. All right, so now you can connect more apps to find those templates. And so what you want to do is back in your drive, you connect more apps and search within the apps for it. It's going back and forth. Look for template or from template. And that way you can find ones that have been created by others. So here's my very simple pet vote, and I'm not voting for the rat on that one. Here's an old one for me from one of my tech camps a long time ago, but I just want to point this out. See, I always look at the pretty one, and then when I'm on that pretty one, I copy that link because then I know for sure it's coming back to the pretty format. So I copy that link, and now just to review on sharing, see, there's not as many options as there were for docs, sheets, and slides. But there you go. If you want to share just through email, put in the email addresses, or again, copy the link and share that link that way. That's going to be the right link. Embed the form. That's if you want it to be look like it's on your web page, but it really isn't. That's when you embed it. All right, search for images. I just want to point this out. A lot of people don't know it. That's why I keep pointing it out. Is if you do want to use images within your forms, you of course can get them from anywhere, but the stock images are really, really nice. Again, more Google Form add-ons. When you search add-ons, each, like sheets and slides, each one have a different set of add-ons. These are just ones for forms. Need more information? Tons out there. There's help, there's everything. But I hope you can see why I love forms, organize everything, everything's in one place. So thank you. Thank you so much for joining me.